Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Mob Big Apple, which is for 2 players, 35 to 40 minutes. Ages 14 and up, but that's for regulation purposes. You can play this with younger players. So this simulates the era of Prohibition, Eliot Ness, Al Capone. And we're trying to get contraband, which is worth points. Each contraband is worth 1 point. So it's a worker placement tug-of-war game. You have 6 locations, and you're going to start out each round with 20 henchmen. You have some extra henchmen here that can be placed in the locations. And you have moles that you're going to place that has hidden information. So we're going to load henchmen into cars, move into locations, have shootouts, take actions right here. So you first begin placing your henchmen into, you get to know where you put them. The other player does not. So I put mine here. I might be more strategic about it. Why is there 3 contraband here? Because there's a die here with 3, 3, 2, 1. And Julie would place yours. Go ahead and place yours. So this is hidden information. Can you not cover up the location, please? There you go.
I like doing it.
Yes. Just to irritate me, huh?
No, not irritate. I just forget it, actually.
And you see there's a DA here. This will come into play. So we have our 20 henchmen in our warehouse. This is the supply. This is Julie's warehouse. That's her supply. Because you can exchange. This means 3. And that means 1. So what's the turn order? We're going to play over 3 rounds. The first action you can do is optional. It's load henchmen in the cars. So I'll show that it's a little bright there. You don't have to do this, but if you do it, you roll the 2 dice, and then you have to place your henchmen. The step that you have to do is perform henchman actions. And we continue doing this until we run out of our henchmen, which are basically like our workers. So let's say I decide to load henchmen. I roll the dice. I can put 1 henchman in this car. That's the white 2 location, which is Little Italy, and put 1 in there. Or I can go here to the Bronx and put 2 henchmen in a car. Each car can hold 3. So let's say I do that. Even though there's only, well, actually, there's only 1 contraband here. I think I'm going to want to go here, at least put 1 in here. Now, that was optional. You could have up to 3 in a car. Now, I get to take an action. So let's go over the actions. There's primary and secondary actions. The DA track is going to move. It starts out in the center. Once it leaves the center, it will never go back. So if I move it, Julie moves it towards me, the DA is investigating me. If I move it from this side, then it's investigating her. And the DA will allow you to expose a mole. So that chip that we put down would be revealed and replaced with henchmen, which matters because they can be then taken out in a shootout. Right now, they can't be attacked in a shootout. They're hidden. They're only revealed at the end of the game if they're not exposed. This allows you to place a contraband in a location. So if I have a lot of henchmen in a location, then I might want to put a contraband here. Here I expose a mole, and then I get a contraband right away. I don't have to wait till the end of the game to get a contraband. I get it now. And if the DA is already here and I do another DA action, I get another contraband. So you'll see during the playthrough, we're going to be moving the DA around. So this is the primary action, and this is the cost to activate it. So if I put 1 henchman here, I'll get to move the DA. If I put 2 henchmen here, I can move the DA and put a contraband in a location. Now you can do them in any order you want. I can do the primary first, or the secondary first, and then the primary. Or I can decide not to do one of them, or decide not to do any of them. Because remember, you always have to place henchmen. It doesn't mean you have to carry out the action. Here, you do a shoot. And that means you try to shoot henchmen that are still in their cars. This one would cost 4 henchmen. I get to move the DA and then try to shoot one of Julie's cars. So let's say Julie had 2 in this car, 3 in this car, and 1 in here. At the end of the round, they're going to move into the locations, unless you take an action to move them first, before the round ends. So I have to decide, if I do a shoot action, am I going to roll the black die, which means I have a 33% chance to get a 2, Or do I roll the white die and try to get the 3 or the 2, 66% chance I'm going to get something. But let's say, I'm really contending for this one. I want to go after that one, but in this case, I'm not. I'm going to go for the white die, and so these would be removed back into supply. So that's why you'll take what's called a drive action, so then they don't get shot. They go into the location and they're safe. Because at the end of the round, they're going to go there anyway, but then they're subject to being shot. So let's take a look at the other actions. Here, this is a primary one. You get to move contraband from one location to another. So Julie's really dominating me with her henchmen, or she's got, because you can stack moles, you can move them, redeploy them. What I mean by stacking them, if you take that redeploy action, she could have 2 moles here. She has 2 moles here and 3 guys. I only have 1 guy in the car here. It's going to be hard for me to beat her there. I may just redeploy that contraband there and make it, so yeah, you're going to win it, but you're not going to get much contraband. So that's a move that you can do. So that's relocating as a primary action, a contraband, and you don't, these don't go in order. Someone could take the 2 or do the 1 here. You don't have to fill them all up. So here you get a shoot action, move the DA. Here's where you can redeploy a mole. So you move one of your moles that might have been exposed. You move a mole there where there's no longer a mole, or you can move a mole on top of another mole and stack them. Here you place a contraband. Here's where you expose an opponent's mole. It costs 3 to do that. So you get the primary and the secondary. Here's the car stuff. Here's where you drive. So you might take this action because you're afraid someone's going to shoot your guys in the car, and you move them into the location. And you already know what these do. Here's where you get to move from one car to another. Oops. What am I doing? So to say Julie takes that action. She wants more over here. She can move these 2 into that one. She can move 2 into that one and leave 1 into that car. Or she can just move all 3 into a different location. The point is, she's moving some henchmen from one car to another. And you just can't exceed 3. Now there's some rules when you roll for a location. So let's say Julie rolled a 3, 1. She can't put that one there. But let's say she only had 2 henchmen there and she rolled a 2. Well, she could still pick that spot, but she would only be able to put 1 there. You can't exceed. Okay. So this is, changing cars, moving henchmen into the location to avoid them getting shot. This is, it has to go in this order, moving henchmen from one car to another and then moving them into the location. So that is all the actions you do. So the optional, placing henchmen in cars, you must always take an action. You continue doing that until both players have placed all 20 of their henchmen or their workers, so to speak. Now it's possible that I did this a lot during the playthrough. I'll take more expensive actions.
You did.
I have none left, and Julie has this many left. So she'll continue doing her actions until she runs out, and I just sit here waiting for her to get done. which is a strategy to do that. So at the end of the game, let's say it's a situation, and this happens during the rounds, the shootout, well, let me show you the end of a round. Anybody still in a car drives to the location, okay? Then we do the DA action. Where am I at? Right here. Resolve the DA track. Then we do the shootout. And then we prepare for the next round. We remove all the henchmen off the action track, and we get 20 more henchmen. So let's model that for a minute. I have 2 here, 1 here. So Julie moves, we drive into location. There's no shootout here. Well, first we do the DA track. Say Julie got me on the DA track. She exposes one of my moles. See, she does this one. So I replace that mole with 2 guys. You'll see why that's important. And then she gets to place a contraband. Where would you put it in the situation?
I would put it here.
Okay. Now we do the shootout. Nobody to shoot here, so her henchman's going to stay here for the next rounds unless there's a shootout. We shoot each other out here, 3 versus 4. She loses 3, I lose 3. I have one guy left here, but she has a mole here. And I don't know the value of that mole. She could be winning this location. Here we shoot out. And that's it. Let's say it's the end of the game. We reveal all of our moles. She flip up this one. 3 beats my 1. She would get all 4 of these contraband. Here she flips up this. 1. That's 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. She beat me there too. And we do the same things. I would have other guys, obviously. But she would have won those 2 locations. And whoever has the most contraband wins. Now, if there's a tie, whoever's being investigated by the DA will break the tie. So if there was a tie, Julie would beat me. So that is, do that for 3 rounds, and then you reveal your moles, and then you claim the contraband. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. Let's say it was a situation like this. I had my 2 there. And there was what? There was 2 there?
I don't know.
I don't remember. We tied. No one would claim it. Right. So that can happen. You can tie a location, nobody gets the contraband. Forgot about that. So now we're going to do our positive, negatives,
and our neutrals, and then tell you how we rated it on the BGG scale, and I go first.
Julie goes first.
So I think these are really nice pieces. I really like them. The little henchmen, they look like henchmen. It's kind of cool.
Well, they're solid wood.
They're solid wood. Like the poker chips are real nice.
Yeah, these are weighted poker chips. They're not cheap.
No.
This is the type you would see at a casino.
Yeah, I really like them.
And then if you notice on the board here,
it's real
foil
flashy.
Stamped.
Yeah.
It's foil stamped. And that's not easy. That's expensive. The game company my brothers and I had back from 1999 to 2005, I think we ran it. We did a game with foil stamping, and it's cool to see that in this game.
It is a very interesting theme, and it is a tug-of-war worker placement game, like David had explained. It can get confusing and frustrating where to put your pieces, and when you even watch the how to play and play through, you'll see that sometimes I got confused on the dice of how to do that again. And David helped me a lot by saying, just put the dice there, and then that helped me remember what to put where.
So what you're saying is that not only that, but also it's important.
This is very confusing.
The cards can be confusing. The rules are solid, but you got to remember the details to play it correctly. Because the first time we played, when we exposed a mole, we just removed it. When you expose a mole, you actually replace the mole with actual henchmen. Okay, so there's little rules like that you can mess up.
So it's a little confusing, and it can be too strategic for some players. And I'm not going to lie, this is what our 5th time playing it.
4th or 5th
Fourth
time.
or 5th, and I finally was competitive to David. And it still makes my brain hurt because there's a lot I have to figure out how I want to do things and planning and stuff. So just keep that in mind. It could be a little too much for a 14-year-old or even a 13-year-old.
Let me compare it to something. So it's like chess in some ways with some luck.
Yeah.
The luck is the dice.
Thank goodness for dice.
So we won't play chess. I'm not a competitive chess player, okay, but I probably would beat you in chess.
Oh, yeah.
But compared to other games such as Battle Line, I think you've only...
kicked my butt on that.
I think we played that probably 20, 30 times in our lifetime. You probably won twice.
Yeah.
So that's a game...
I don't like playing that.
But she does better at this game than Battle Line.
Yeah.
But anyways, keep on going.
And playing time isn't too bad, although sometimes I do feel like it drags on. Maybe it's because, one of us is thinking too hard of what to do on here, or, planning out our stuff. But all in all, it's not horrible.
Well, I think it started out dragging for you, but now you're playing a lot quicker.
Yeah.
You had a much better experience the last...
I think so. This last time I played it, I probably can actually honestly say I had fun.
Right. But that was your 4th, at least your 4th game.
Yeah.
And not everybody has the patience to play a game that much.
Well, and I also wanted to stick it out for this guy because it is a 2-player game, and it is just the 2 of us now.
Right.
So I don't want to take away from him.
She'll pick some 2-player games like, let's play Rose King. I say, I'm tired of Rose King. But if she picked this one, let's play that, I'll play that. Okay, so thematic, it's very You do feel like you're doing the movie Untouchables.
Yeah.
But you're the bad guys.
Yeah.
So it's abstract in the sense that you're controlling locations. It's less abstract, and it's probably very little in that regard. I probably shouldn't have even used that word now that I think about it. So now that I think about it, I probably shouldn't have even said that.
So disregard that.
But it is an area control worker placement, score the most points game. The only reason why I said that, because if it wasn't for the theme, you'd just be placing pieces around. So it is an abstract game in the sense that you are trying to control areas with a tug of war component. And some games do that with no theme.
Right.
So that's probably why I said that.
Okay.
So this is a lot of theme here. But it did remind me of an abstract game. Okay. So now I'm okay with it. Okay. So quality components. I thought it was easy to learn, but it can be difficult to play correctly for inexperienced gamers. So that's okay for us, because I'll put the time in to play it correctly. But other people who aren't used to games like this, I think the rule book is fine. Okay, nothing wrong with it. It's just that almost every detail here is important. And if you don't have the working memory or the short-term memory to remember it all, you might not play it correctly. Because the rules are concise. And that's not a bad thing. Mm-mm. It's just that hobby gamers will learn it, more likely to learn it correctly and play it correctly the first time, even though we messed up on the exposed and the whole thing. And you're going to find yourself, when you're playing it, what does that icon mean again? So it does take at least 2 or 3 plays to get used to this iconography.
And I still have to ask sometimes.
Right.
So the only one I know for sure is the gun.
But it has a good payoff, because it really plays smoothly once you get it down.
Yeah.
And the last thing is chess-like accessibility. If someone doesn't like games like chess, they're probably not going to like this game.
Yeah,
and that's what I was worried about. That's why I'm really happy that you stuck it out, because you're going to see our rating now.
I did it for you.
You're going to see our rating now. And for me, this is an 8, and it could go up higher, because the theme really comes out really strong.
Yeah.
It has really nice, tense decisions. You really do feel when you're looking at the action board here, okay, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. And you'll see during the how to play, Julie was dominating me on so many locations. But then I was using the DA to get the bonus contraband. Yeah. So that's just a really smart game design, that if you do go for the DA, you're going to get bonus points. And then, because it's expensive to go for him a lot.
Yep.
And then Julie was using her leftover workers to dominate the locations.
Yeah.
So what would you say about being a 7?
Well, honestly, I was a 6 up until we finished our How to Play and Playthrough. And I did change it to a 7. I still, will need to be in the mood, but I would be more willing to play as opposed to like a week or so ago.
Yeah. You put the time in and you got better at it.
I did put the time in. It does really make my working memory work hard. So when I'm done with this game, I'm pretty much done for the rest of the day. So good thing this is our last video. And but it is enjoyable, and I do like the movies that deal with this time era and stuff, like The Godfather and Goodfellas and Untouchables.
Well, Goodfellas is 60s.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
Yeah. But it does take place in the 70s and 80s. But the point is,
and I like The Sopranos. I like the mafia type stuff. So this is, I dig this, and I wish my father was still alive, because I think he would really like this game
right.
too.
He would have liked it.
I really do.
So this is a really good 2-player game if someone doesn't like playing chess. Mm-hmm. Just has enough luck there. You'll see during the How to Play playthrough that Julie will roll lucky at times and shoot my henchmen in the cards, but then I did it a couple of times too.
Yeah.
But that's the only luck portion of it. Mm-hmm. And it's just enough so that someone who's maybe not as much of a chess player, not thinking 3 moves ahead, can get lucky and stay in the game.
Yeah.
So that's, in my opinion, that's a good thing.
I think so.
I don't want to play a pure strategy game with you.
No. Oh, I would never be. He'd kick. Right. He'd wipe the floor with me every time. So.
Whereas this game, because it has just enough luck, you can be competitive in it.
And it has dice, and I love dice. Right. So.
Well, thanks for watching.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. We hope you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.